Hey girl, hey, she found the video.
Everybody obnoxious laugh.
She found the
Obnoxious
video. It's the
laugh.
Hey Girl Hey
Thank you.
podcast on Urban Media today. Those of you who didn't hear the first half, the end of the first half, I sent LaShawn a video, just a little something about her talking
That's
about
cute.
how you could tell a brother who just got out the county.
That was funny. Watched
If you don't,
all the
you have
episodes
to
of The
check
Shop.
out. You have to find last week's episode and catch that. But happy belated birthday, Chatter Chick.
Thank you.
Yay! Happy belated.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. All right. Please don't try and live your life like actress Lisa Ray. Please don't. This girl is a hot mess. And I believe that she was just joking when she made this statement.
She
So
said it
she
too
was
many times.
on
Too many times.
Garcelle Beauvoir's, I think her name is
Bouvier.
Garcelle. She has a podcast called Going to Bed with Garcelle,
Interesting.
and she's on with Sherry Shepherd. I have to check that podcast out. But they were asking, like, tell me who you would really want in your life. You don't have to say their name. Describe the person that you want. And so Lisa Ray said, oh, I can tell you right now, Will Smith. And so
She was
Garcelle
ready for
said,
that.
you can't pick him. He's married.
Married.
And she was like, we can have an entanglement. Now, I did not hear the audio. But, and I believe she was joking. She eventually said, we're just, it was just a joke. But, of course, that's the soundbite of the week. And of all people to be playing like that is Lisa Ray, because Lisa Ray accuses everybody of ruining her marriage with King Couscous, whatever, Coach Curse and Caicos, wherever he was the prince
King
of,
Couscous.
Princess Zamunda, whatever.
King Goose.
But she was upset because she blamed Nicole Murphy and she just blamed everybody.
What is it, Dwayne Martin? She blamed.
She blamed
Martin,
everybody.
She did.
But what she was saying is, and what struck me was, I thought that even her joke was out of pocket. That's just not something that you say out loud about another woman's husband, even if it was something that, if you know that, like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they have their own little situation, but they are still married. And they're still married. That's not something you do. Y'all say what?
Yeah, I agree. Plus of where the entanglement whole phrase came from. It's still a sensitive subject to some people.
Mm-hmm.
Some people still don't like the phrase, like, she said she was just joking, whatever, he, but like, that's just something that you just don't joke about, especially with somebody else's husband. Like, I don't understand what is the infatuation with people wanting married people. Like, like, I don't get that at all. Like, it's just, it never was a thing to me. So, sometimes they take these jokes to a whole nother level. There's always some truth behind it.
Oh yeah.
If there's always
girl,
some truth
I was
behind
just
it.
playing.
So
I don't want you to make I was just playing. You good?
Yeah. I don't believe she was just playing.
I remember walking in at a job. I walked in on, it was a guy I was dating, and the women at my job knew who he was, but didn't know that I was dating him.
Right.
So it was conversation about him. Girl, you see him, he is fine. I get on that. I jump on that. And I didn't say anything, but to know, because to know that conversation was that was happening, rather. I was just like, I can't trust.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it was a joke, you can't do that. Even if you kind of know, I kind of heard, well, y'all were dating, or I thought maybe.
I think that's conversation, but those was your girls, and they knew.
And they knew,
The thing with Lisa Ray is that Lisa Ray worked for Will Smith and Jada.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So, they produced a show that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
So even in that whole conversation, if everybody wants to read it, they can go on whatever site and find the rest of that conversation. But in the rest of that conversation, she even goes down and she repeats it again.
Mm-hmm.
So the first time you might have said it, like he might have been like your man crush. Like everybody goes, eat yourself, bro. Although he's married now, he's everybody's man crush. You know, but nobody will keep saying I mean, if we were his wife's friend, for us to keep saying, "Oh, I want a man like your man," I want to.
We're not gonna keep saying that.
Right. It's like Lisa Ray is saying, because she has a relationship with Will and Jada, to just like she's saying to Jada, "I want your man." Psych. I want your man. And when they describe the perfect man to her, it's your man, Jada. Well, why don't you just call Jada up and say it? Because you didn't get on social media. It's just like you got on the phone and said to Jada, you want her man. Now, what kind of woman are you? How were you raised? That's all I'm saying.
She is always checking somebody's.
How were you raised?
Who raised you?
Who raised you?
Raised you?
Like,
I just think it's a major
cool.
don't. If you know, like if it's something that you just don't know.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Then I get it. Like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Like the whole Nicole Murphy thing. It was to us, he was married legally. She knows he's married, but not knowing what he's saying to her, like, we're separated, or I don't really like her. I like you. We've been separated for a minute. She ain't really my favorite person in the world, but I like you, boo. And so they going off, and she's going off of what, I'm not giving her a pass. But there are people who fall for the banana and the tailpipe. Shut up, Sean. Fall for the banana and the tailpipe, and they deal with it. They believe it. And now we got these situations, and the woman is faulted by it, behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you get faulted behind it if you do it. It ain't
if you do it and know it.
Yeah. It's not a woman or a man thing. It ain't like we can jump on and say, well, this is double standards. A man can do it all day. Wrong is wrong, whether you're a man or a woman.
It is.
So if you know that old dude is married, I mean, I had to check myself one time because, I dated a guy who was getting a divorce and had been separated for years, but technically he was not divorced.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had to check myself on that. Like, no, this isn't cool. And that's not cool on me. So what you sow, you reap. I didn't want that on me. And I'm thinking, why did this not work out between me and this man? Well, let's see. Let's do the top part of the list. He's married, boo. Technically, if he ain't been with his wife and he's been away from her, that document is still married.
He's still in her. She's still in his phone as wife.
You know what I mean? And I because I thought he hasn't been with her for years. I don't care. That's married. That's something
I don't. She has a right over his body. She has a
right.
Everything. Absolutely.
I
was
everything.
Literally. There's been Madea movies made about this lady. So
I would never play that game.
That remember Diary of a Mad Black Woman, where Kimberly Elise, that's her name. And the husband did her wrong and stuff like that. But she ended up getting everything because she was still legally married, and she had the decision to make when he was in the hospital, and the little girlfriend was in here trying to say something, and Tyler was like, no, this is his wife. They're still legally married. They are not divorced. She still has made this. I was just having this conversation with my friend the other day, and I was saying, like, marriage is a bigger commitment than people think. People just see it from the outside, like the prettiest, you know what I mean? The glitz, the glamour, the dress, reception. No, it's different. Like, it's literally commitment. You can't do certain things without your spouse. You know what I mean? Like, and your spouse has more of a say so than people think. So I agree. Like, 100%.
That's serious business. That's serious.
Business. It's like a business deal. It really is. People do. It's a contract. A binding contract.
You really do.
It is.
And then, when you get involved feelings get involved in, like I said, I had to check myself, like, why are you getting your feelings involved in somebody who's not able to be involved, who has no connection? You should have any connection with them. So it's a cutoff. Done.
It's a cutoff.
I'm glad you're on that track, because in an email, we got an email. This woman had befriended her neighbor, and they became walking partners, walking buddies. And they walk every morning. She says, I'm a little old. She's a little older than I am. We get along pretty well. She and I talk a lot about family, retirement, and her husbands. She talks about her husband a lot, but more so complaining about him. And she says she figures that she just uses that time to just vent. So then she says one day a man pulled up to her house while she was watering her grass. He said hello. She waved. He stayed. She looked and was like, "Can I help you?" And he said, "I'm so-and-so's husband." And so she said, I just wanted to say hi. I was kind of shocked, but immediately I thought about all the things that my neighbor had shared with me about him, and I wasn't pleased to make his acquaintance. Then he said, "Hey, can I help you with that?" referring to her lawn. And she said, "No, thank you." He smiled and drove off. And it wasn't an issue. It had happened a few times. Once it happened a few times, it became an issue. And she grew concerned. And she feels weird every time he does this. Her daughter told her to mention her husband every time he says, "Well, can I do that for you?" She says, "No, my husband. But she's wondering if she should tell her friend about her husband, because she doesn't want anything, she doesn't want to mess up the friendship. But here's the thing, though. Sometimes women won't believe the woman. They take the side of the man. So now we're on this whole, this whole, your place type situation, and who's out of pocket. Of course, for this scenario, he's out of pocket. But is she going to be out of pocket if she tells the wife?
Absolutely not. She will not be out of pocket. And I love these letters. Thank you all for sending them. I think it's real interesting, because people are going through some real stuff right about now.
Right.
But you know what? If he knew enough to say who he was, because that means his wife was talking about you to him, for him to introduce himself to you and say who he was. So and this is somebody you walk with.
I mean, you got that face, but it was like, whoa.
Because it says, if you read the letter, he said, "I'm so-and-so's husband." He introduced himself as the husband, and his wife had talked about you to
the
him.
neighbor.
So now they have that kind of communication. Now every woman knows about. We know about our man. That what we use about the knowledge that we know about him is on us. There's some stuff we already know and we play dumb to. Sorry to use that word, but it's dumb. So he knows about it. She knows about it. I would say to the woman, I'm not keeping nothing quiet. I'm not mentioning my husband. I would say to the woman, first of all, your husband keeps driving past, or he's and you just put it on you. I feel a little uncomfortable. Don't even explain what he's doing. Like, he's driving past, girl, and he's looking, because that's what makes the whole scenario ignorant. That's when people be like, "Hey, girl, he driving past, he looking at me, and I know he's looking at this big butt I got, because me and you've been walking, and I've been trying to get this butt together."
Girl, I've been doing these squats, and I know
I've been doing these squats.
I know you looking
so I know
your
man's looking. Now that causes the chaos. But if you say how you feel, girl, I feel a little uncomfortable. Your husband has approached me several times,
not
and he
just
knows
once,
who, not
several.
once, but and he knows who I am, because obviously you spoke to him, so he knows who I am.
Right.
But he asked me if he could do things for me, and I have a husband who could do whatever your husband wants to do for him. So I have a husband, so I don't need to. I just feel uncomfortable. So that woman needs to correct it, not not you. You let her correct it. Now, if he
and she shouldn't tell her husband.
Oh, no. Me, if it was me, I would, I would tell my husband too, because we have the conversation. I'd say, "Honey, but I spoke to her about it. But if it gets out of hand, my husband's going to take care of that.
Yeah,
that's my husband. Okay. I'm gonna let a man be a man. I'm not telling my husband go out there and be fighting, and but my husband said, "Listen, my wife," because that's his role as a protector. My wife feels unprotected. She doesn't feel right with you doing that. Man to man, stop approaching my wife like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is grown people stuff.
Right. Yeah. And all it takes is that one time for her to say something that can be taken out of context, and they can lose the friendship, or he can say something that can be taken out of context and can cause riff-raff between them.
Right.
So I would say, politely, like on the next walk, like, "Hey girl, like, your husband been, I can't even say stopping by because he doesn't stop by, but riding by, friendly hello, but it's been happening like frequently. He's asked me if I need help, and I just, based on our past conversations, like I don't want to get involved in anything. Like it's cool, but I don't want any parts of it. So just want to let you know. You know what I mean? And I think she will respect her honesty. And the woman knows her husband more than the neighbor does. So, that could be a conversation that she could later have with her husband. We don't know his role in this. I mean, we're just going off of what the letter says. He can just be someone who's friendly, like a friendly neighbor because his wife walks with her.
Her feelings is she's uncomfortable.
Right.
So yeah.
But if you keep letting him go, if she keeps letting him go and she doesn't address it, the one time that she does address it and she feels uncomfortable, like if she says something to him and she never says nothing to the woman, because say they don't walk every week, maybe they walk maybe once a week, and they already walked on Saturday, but he's been over Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, he's been falling, so he's been there every day, and she doesn't walk with. Now if she says something to him that puts him in his place or whatever, he's going to twist that. He'll twist that around and he'll go to his wife. Yeah, I saw your girl. It'll become something real funny.
Nip it in the bud right away.
Right? You gotta either if you keep doing it and you got a husband or something like that, or like with me, I would be like, no, I'm good. I don't need you to do anything around here. Thank you. Mm-hmm. So if he comes back again, I said to you before, I don't need you to do anything around my house. Thank you. Right. Then after that, I'm approaching her before our walk. If I know where she's at before I walk, listen, your husband has done this. I gotta let you know this. Because he'll twist that around, because some guys are so crafty about that.
He will.
He's been dealing with that for a long time. First of all, when you said in your letter in the beginning is that you guys walk and all she does is complain about him. She hasn't.
Don't do that. Yes. Ladies, don't do that. I've fallen in that too. And we gotta go to break. I've fallen in that too. You got to be careful. Sometimes we just need somebody to vent to. Right. But at the same time, watch who you vent to.
You got to watch who you vent to.
Watch who you vent to, because it could be used against you.
It can.
And it could be in a court of law, but yeah, you'll be in an entanglement.
So, you don't want that.
All right. We're going to teach Jerry something about reparations.
Jason. Head tilt.
Teach me.
So we Fred
we
might
ain't
jump
got
in
it.
On this one.
We haven't gotten reparations. What is 40 acres and a mule? Reparations.
Hold tight. Be right back. It's the Hey Girl Hey podcast on Urban Media Today.